story.
Voy a voltearles
The reason we're here,
la cámara para que vean.
Lake Michigan, Michigan. The reason probably a lot of this country is here. This is the same lake as Lake Huron, one of the other Great Lakes. So by far, by area, this is the largest source of fresh water on the planet. Right here at our front door, we are so lucky. The other cool thing about this lake, almost all the waterways, the rivers on the continent, run right here. All roads lead to Lake Michigan. So it's real easy to get here. And what is here? A swamp. The whole city is a wetland. And I also like starting here because we have this sign, "Who found Chicago?" Well, that's a bit of a trick question. Nobody found it. People have been living here for thousands of years. This swamp belongs to the Council of the Three Fires. That's the Ojibwe, the big brother, the Odawa, the middle brother, and the Potawatomi, the little brother. They all use various words for the swamp. Jigagoon is one. Shakakwa is another. According to the translation, music that can mean garlic, onion, or skunk. New York City's the Big Apple or the Big Stinky. Part of our charm. Part of our history, too. There's the lake. You can't really see it because we have a lock. Those big doors that let the boats in and out from the lake. Now, we don't go on the lake on this tour, but get my advertisement out of the way real early. But it's a good one. If you want to go on a 45-minute lake cruise, show your ticket from this tour to the box office. You can add a lake cruise for, get this, $6. $3 for kids. You can't afford not to take that deal. That's an insane summer deal. I highly recommend it. I'll remind you again of the other two. All right, we're about to go through the front door. That's what we call this bridge here. Now I want you to imagine, in your imagination, a giant wall of ice, twice the height of the Sears Tower, covering the entire city, a glacier, thousands of years ago. As the glacier receded, it left behind the lake, and it carved out this river. Now, like I said, it's a swamp. It's too soft to carve out a canyon. So we built our river. And that is a view as you sail into Chicago. This is our canyon made of glass and stone and steel. Really unique way to come into a city. Now, as we come in, we get to say hello to our brand new baby skyscraper, 400 Lakeshore Drive. We just hit the 35th floor. It's going to be about 72 floors high. This is actually going to be 2 residential towers, and they're going to look like big blue waves right here at the lakefront. You know, that blue glass climbing up the tower there. That's called contextualism. And it means the building is
Chicago River.
Conversation with its
Y este tour
surroundings.
nos hace
You see another building in
nos dio una descripción de
conversation
todos
with the lake.
los
Yeah,
edificios
right
de
behind
Chicago.
me, the St. Regis Hotel. Those curving lines, that vibrant blue color. The color, really accurate. Matches the lake almost perfectly. The lake is blue. The river, green. Because the river is healthy. There's algae and phytoplankton in the river that make it green. In the lake, we have an invasive species of mussel that eats the algae, and it makes it blue. Really clear water out there. So it matches the St. Regis perfectly. Now I want you to look up right into the sun, right up to the tallest tower on the St. Regis Hotel. You see the 73rd, 74th floor there? Empty. No walls, no windows. Why? It's right here at the lake. Ton of wind off the lake. And when a wind hits a skyscraper, if the skyscraper just stays stock still, it's going to crack and fall over under all that pressure.
Ahí está la Trump Tower.
All the skyscrapers sway in the wind. They got to give a little bit to stay upright. It's a good lesson for us all. If you're inside, you can feel it. People get seasick in there from all the sway. So we have to reduce it. So we have 3 ways of reducing sway, and this is the first. These are called blow-through floors. It's the most efficient way to reduce sway. And we'll talk about the others later. They all use physics to try to reduce that sway, or drift, as it's known in architectural speak.
La Trump Tower.
So we're here on the Chicago River, which is a working river. It's very busy. This is the high season. So we're gonna run into a lot of boats. There's gonna be tiny little private boats, kayaks, giant boats like us, barges that are coming in from the lake. You're gonna get a lot of attention from the bridges, from the Riverwalk. You're gonna feel like celebrities today. So just enjoy feeling like a star on the river today. The river does freeze in the winter. Yes, it gets very cold here, but we use it all year long. We have the fire department. They send out their boats and they break up the ice on the river. So we do have tours all year long. If you want to come back in February, it's a little different from this. It's racing. It's the adventure tour. Going under the second of our Chicago style bridges. Now you'll notice these bridges look alike. They're all maroon. They're all kind of have the same design. These are unique to Chicago. And there's 37 of them on the river, well over 100 years old. Some of them are single decker, like this one, and double decker ones for the trains as well. But we'll talk more about what Chicago style means in the neighborhood. Look at where we have arrived. Look at this architecture. This is why we're so famous for our architecture. We have buildings from every era of America's architectural evolution. And we're going to talk about every single one, and we're going to learn about what was happening in the country to make them look this way. So let's start again at the very beginning. Let's start with the oldest building that we can see right now. That would be off to the right, right in front of the boat. See this white wedding cake of a building? It's got the clock tower on the top. That's the Wrigley Building. Yeah, the only building in the world built entirely out of gum. Profits. Profits. This was built for William Wrigley Jr., the chewing gum magnate. He did indeed make his millions off of gum. And this was built by Graham Anderson, Probst, and White in
Bueno, ya les quería mostrar un poquito
1924.
aquí del
Now, 1924. This is before America has its own signature style of architecture. We're just borrowing from Europe at this point, and that's why the Wrigley Building looks a lot like the La Giralda Cathedral in Sevilla, Spain. It does have some French Renaissance elements mixed in there too. We kind of picked our favorite parts of these old cathedrals, but we call this Spanish Revival style. Those really ornate tops of the building there. It's covered in 250,000 delicate terracotta tiles. We hand wash this building. It takes a long time. And the tiles grow brighter and brighter in shades of white as you go up. So it really makes that tower gleam, even when the sun is not hitting it. Draws the eye upward. Very first building with air conditioning in the city as well, which is probably lasting this week. Going under the DuSable Bridge now, we're going to get really low over our heads on this bridge. River level changes each day, depending on precipitation, things like that. Pretty close to the bridge today. As we come out from under the bridge, there's a big, beautiful, blue cigarette lighter on the skyline right behind me. I always forget the name of this building. If only there was a way.
de nuestro
Oh, that's
presidente
right.
favorito.
It's Trump International Hotel and Tower. And it was finished in 2009 by Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill. This is a beautiful example of contextualism. It's in conversation with its surroundings in two ways. One, it's the color of the sky. It just melts in. It gives the illusion of a lot of space where there isn't any. Two, you see the patio setbacks that are indented all around the building. They're not random heights. They are each the same height as one of the surrounding buildings. So it was built right for this spot. Can't be anywhere else. This was built by Chicago architect Adrian Smith. Favorite son, world's tallest architect. He himself, only 5'7", mid-sized king, but he builds the tallest buildings in the world, including the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. It's currently the world's tallest building. This is a miniature of the Burj Khalifa, in spite of being the second tallest building in the city. Coming up around the corner on the right, it's the iconic and delicious Chicago corn cobs. They also kind of look like beehives. Their real name is Marina City These are the brainchild of Bertrand Goldberg, another local Chicago guy, but he went to school at the Bauhaus School of Design in Germany. So he wasn't just an architect, he was also a social scientist. He solved problems with his buildings. Now the problem here in downtown Chicago in the 60s, when Marina City was built, nobody wanted to live here. So it was stinky. The river was so polluted. It was gross. So Bertrand thought, all right, how do I get a bunch of people to move to the center of a stinky city? Third spaces. We love third spaces. Piazzas, plazas, places to just hang out together, right? So he built some right into this building. He built a city within a city, so you never had to leave. If you lived here, oh, by the way, this is a really rare sight. Our bridge lifted up here. They're working on the bridge right now from this barge. So that's really cool when you get to see the river. If you lived here in the 60s, you could park your car in that parking garage, or third lot, or park your luxury yacht right underneath. And then on your way up to your pie slice shaped apartment, you could visit the shopping mall, the ice skating rink, the grocery
Bueno, pues
store,
ya
the
casi voy a dar
bowling
el video
alley,
aquí.
everything
Les
you
quería
needed
mostrar un
right there.
poquito de
I know what you're wondering. You're wondering if anyone has ever driven their car off a parking garage into the river.
Aventuras
This is
del
America,
río.
baby. We do it all the time. We did it for a Steve McQueen movie, actually. So Bertrand's plan worked. The great inversion began. People started to move from the suburbs into the center of the city. And so architect Carol Ross Barney built us a place to enjoy it from. This is the Riverwalk. It's kind of a gem in our urban collection. Everyone hangs out here. The Riverwalk is divided up into 5 rooms. Each room has its own purpose. Some are for dining and performance, like this one. There's bands out here all summer long. Some are for fishing and kayaking, and some are just for sitting and watching the show of the river as it passes by, like the River Theater.
Por si no sabían, me voy cocinando.
Look at all of our spectators out
Haciendo-
here today. Now this is not just a
haciendo
nice
calor.
place to sit. This is also the site of the worst
puse bloqueador,
maritime
Que voy a terminar
disaster
más
in
prieto de
Great
lo que
Lakes
estoy.
history. Back in 1915, the U.S. Eastland was sitting right here, and the Western Electric Company brought all their employees down and put them on the boat to take them to the company to take them. In 1915, that's only 3
Siente
years
rico cuando
after the
pasas abajo de los
Titanic
puentes.
sank. And remember, there were too few lifeboats on the Titanic. Well, they overcompensated, and they put too many on top of the Eastland. It made it top heavy, and it flipped over, trapping 844 people in the river below right here. Terrible tragedy in our history. One of the reasons they built this third space was as a living memorial to those passengers. I mentioned back by the Wrigley building that in the early 1920s, we didn't have an American style of architecture. This changes in the late 1920s, the roaring 20s. Chicago boomed in the roaring 20s. We were super rich because of the Industrial Revolution. We were dancing all night in our speakeasies to jazz music, we're drinking illegal booze, wearing short little skirts. We wanted to show off all of our prosperity to the rest of the world. So that's when we got Art Deco architecture.
Aquí van explicando la arquitectura de los diferentes edificios. Como hay edificios modernos y edificios más antiguos. La historia de cómo prosperó Chicago.
They're all decorated with machine stamped patterns. This one here has got a little new wing right over here to the right. There's the L, the elevator train right there.
Se escucha el tren.
Now, all the Art Deco buildings are big, but this is the biggest one of all. The Record Center.
ahora sí ya voy a terminar el video.
Out front,
Gracias a
the
los que se
Chicago
conectaron.
Pez
Alex, saludos.
dispensers. These are the princes of merchandise.
Y los que se
Guys like
conectaron y no me
Montgomery
siguen,
Ward,
suscríbanse a mi
Marshall
página, por
Field,
favor.
creators
Hoy es
of
mi
the
Aventuras
first
Culinarias
shopping
Exóticas.
malls in America. They
Voy a
kept all the
terminar
stuff
el
they sold in their
en vivo.
malls right here in the front. Big warehouse. We will come back to the Mart later. We're going to talk about just how big this guy really is. But right now, we're about